Hey now, how's everybody doing on this good Obama holiday? We're the we're just gonna acknowledge one president. I don't know any other presidents. I mean, Jimmy Carter. Listen, prayers for Jimmy Carter. He's been taken to hospice, and so we want to give a shout out to him. But welcome everybody to All My Friends Are Famous. We're at the home studio today. Just a preview of what's coming up on Friday, but I wanted to touch down because it is a president's holiday, and I want everybody to understand that on Fridays we are going to start doing podcast live on Black Girl Surf channel for the community. A lot of people um, need information, and they don't need to be misinformed. They need to know exactly what's going on in these communities, and they need to know that news now before it's too late. I've been off for a while. I used to have a channel on Block Talk Radio, was One Love Radio. We had that for over 10 years. We were doing podcasts. We had interviewed and had people on our show everywhere from Corrupt, from the Dog Pound, all the way up to um, Sage Erickson, Kiala Kinley, and all of the Rude Paul cast, mostly at that time. So we're going to continue giving the news, surf news, incredible things going on in the industry for us at Black Girl Surf. There's some events that we're going to be talking about on Friday that are coming up for Black Girl Surf. And for a lot of other communities, it's not just going to be about what Black Girl Surf does. Basically, it's more about what's going on in the surf community and the action sports community in its totality, whether it's social justice or environmental justice. That's what we're here for. So this is mostly leaning into the solidarity in surf, One Love Radio, which was the underground network. It was called Worldwide Underground Network when we first started out in 2010. And here we are in 2023, and now our voices need to be heard more than any other time. We're in another election year, and it's time for us to speak up and speak loud. So on Fridays, hit us here on YouTube. I have a Zoom going at the same time, so you can join the Zoom and you'll get information from there. But we're going to start giving you um, real things that are happening in the community. I was just at an event on Friday, which we had been sitting on this for a while and not really knowing if we were going to when we were going to broadcast. I'm in the middle of a transition. I'm getting ready to move again, still in San Jose, but I'm moving apartments. Been here for 11, 12 years now, and it's time for me to just move on to a bigger place. But it's time for us to have these conversations, especially because we're coming into the Olympics again. We're seeing some of the same things that we saw, 4 years ago when we started our Olympic journeys all over the country, or actually all over the world, because Black Girl Surf became an international company in 2020 when I was stuck over in Senegal. So we're here to give information, to give you facts, and I can give you examples of what is going on in the community that's going on with us, but it's not just us. So we don't want to just talk about us. We don't just want to say we're the forefront of whatever movement or whatever's going on. We're just going to give you the facts that we know, and how we got them, the research that we did to get here. There's a lot of people spilling facts that don't know what they're talking about. Like I said, I was just at an event on Friday, and an entire panel couldn't answer basic questions from the audience members that were there, and I had nothing to do with it, but I was tied into it because I'm Black Girl Surf. So the thing was, people thought that Black Girl Surf was on the panel, and that's why they came out. They thought I was speaking. I was not speaking there. I want to make this very clear. I was not speaking there. I did ask questions at the end, but that was not my event. So I want to make sure that's clear and people understand that there are separations in the community. There are people, all different types of thinkers, and there's been pioneers in this field for years that are just now starting to get their voices. And so you're going to hear a lot of different opinions, and that's perfectly fine. But what we're saying is, we're saying that we're going to give you the facts that are going on in the surf community, the real facts, and it's not discriminatory. Facts are facts. They're not leaning, they're not anti-black. Then they're, if I'm talking about racism, then we're talking about white supremacy. We're talking about all these different aspects that go on with the community. We're not going to other somebody just because that conversation is making us uncomfortable at the time. And that's what ended up happening last week, which is the reason why I'm doing a mini broadcast today to let you know that on Friday, I plan on having the leaders of that panel on this particular show so that they can put their voice in on what actually happened and why it was so devastating to the Black surf community. When you don't have the answers, it affects every single participant in that community. And I don't understand why people don't come in with knowing that it's not just you that's going to be held accountable for words, actions, and things that we do and say. But that's exactly what happens. It reverberates through the white communities, and then the white communities say, okay, they don't know what they're talking about, and this is why we haven't allowed them to be participating. This is why, this is why we didn't look into the community. Nobody was really like putting forth any effort to show any type of, you know knowledge on what is actually going on. You can't just say somebody's racist and not have the facts. Why? Give me examples of why these things are happening. Give me an example of what happens on the beach when you go out there. You can't have a panel of people when you're talking about what's going on in the community who've never even actually experienced it themselves. If you haven't been in the water and you haven't had this aggression happen to you, you cannot be on a panel talking about how this happens. I don't want to hear somebody say, "Oh, well, this happened in some town and this, but it never happened to me." That you lose all of the credibility when it hasn't directly happened to you, which is why I'm on the microphone today, because so many things were missed. There were so many missed opportunities. And we're going to tell you, I'm going to take that scale it back, and start over from ground zero and how we got here in the first place, and to where we are now, where we're still struggling to get participants into the Olympics. It's going to be hard. It's going to hurt your feelings, which I don't care about. This is a over 18 program. So, and anytime that I'm speaking in public or behind the microphone, um, the first thing that I say to anyone is, I don't give a fuck about your feelings. That should be the name of the show. And the reason why I say that is because I don't have time to waste on making everybody comfortable and understanding emotions and how things affect you. I'm going to give you the facts, and you can have whatever emotion you want to have behind that fact. I have a lot of emotions behind the fact, but does it keep me from telling the facts, whether it's for us or against us? This is a community project. This is a community thing. Surfing belongs to all of us. So all hands on deck, all the way around. Don't exclude. There is some misogynoir going on in the surf industry. And it has a lot to do with black men and white men. White women are trying, but once you have the okay from our men, then it's okay to treat us a certain way. And we're here to tell you, no, it's not. We're Black Girl Surf. There's a reason why there's a Black Girl Surf. I was a part of the BSA at one point, and now I'm not. So that goes to show you that I knew that there was a need, a separate need, that we were being ignored. We were being othered within our own small little surf world, our small little microcosm. We were being marginalized within our own community. So I had to go out and do what I needed to do in order for voices to be heard. Had I not branched out, you would still be hearing the kumbaya tales of old surfers. You would. Just like I'm tired of old white surfers. I'm tired of old black surfers saying, we started this. But what footprint did you leave in the progression? You might have started a little community down in Los Angeles, but what did you do internationally to change the way people think, see us, hear us, and respect us? And I want to say this to the black community. White people don't want to hear the kumbaya. They don't. They do not. I'm telling you because they're telling me that. I can't tell you something that I haven't heard myself. Do you understand? So when I say to you, White people want to be uncomfortable so they get the facts, so they can change the way things are being done. If they don't know, if you're not honest and you're saying things that make them comfortable, you're not telling the truth. I want you to be uncomfortable. I want you to switch in your seat. I want you to think about what I said, and then I want you to get together, coalesce, and start changing things that are happening within our communities, what are happening directly at the beaches, whether it's my surf club, somebody else's surf club, somebody pontificating about what they think is going on in the surf community. I'm asking you, I'm begging you, please research before you get behind a microphone, before you sit on a panel, before you go on national television, before you go in front of the international press. Know what you're talking about. People get upset because they keep coming to me. The reason why they come to me is because this is not just a passion. If I was a student or studying this, I would be a doctor already. I've already researched as much as you can research, right? The only thing you can do now is set things in motion to change. And that's the things that I'm doing, creating Black Girl Surf, Inkwell Surf, Africa Surf International, right? So that people have a place and a space where they can speak out freely, and somebody's not going to tell me to take that offline so that they can discuss it more comfortably and they look like me. I don't care. Me personally, I do not care. Because if you come offensive, I'm going to correct you. That's just a thing of life. That's just the way this is going to go down. That's the way things are happening, right? So let's all respect this. This is just a sample of what's going to happen on Friday. I'm going to bring in my one of my co-hosts on Friday. I'm going to bring in some celebrities or whoever I think is necessary for this particular topic. All my friends are legends, which is the reason why we named this podcast All My Friends Are Legends. So you'd understand that we are not playing around with our communities. We're not here to try to be famous. We're here to make a change. We're here to make sure that white supremacy doesn't continue to carry out its BS capitalism rise in our communities, that we all start to get together to put monies together, our own monies together to build our own communities. You don't need to go outside, because when you start doing that, they're going to do exactly what they told me they were going to do: divide and conquer. That's exactly what they did, and they said it. So when white people give you a disclaimer, listen, they're telling you what they're going to do, and they did, and our community allowed it. No one said a thing except me. But then I was under a contract for 2 years, and I couldn't say a thing. So for 2 years, I let everybody get away with everything that they were doing. But I'm home now. I'm not in Africa. I'm in San Jose. My office is in Santa Cruz. You can come visit me anytime. 101 Cooper Street. Go right to the thing, check in, tell them you want to talk to Black Girl Surf. We're right there. They'll send you right to my office. We'll sit down, have a coffee, a beer, tea, whatever you need to have, and we'll talk about this situation. But what I don't want to keep happening is misinformation continuing to flow throughout the Black surf community, and it spills over into the white surf community, and then everybody's got a problem. Okay, so I'm going to sign off. This is Rhonda Harper from Black Girl Surf, Solidarity and Surf, Inkwell Surf, Africa Surf International, and One Love Radio. Signing off, and I'll see you on Friday. Peace.